The Middle East is a complex and often volatile region. Long-standing conflicts and simmering tensions create a powder keg. Recently, the situation has escalated between Israel and Hezbollah, a powerful group in Lebanon. Hezbollah is backed by Iran, adding another layer of complexity to the conflict. The latest flare-up has raised concerns about a wider war. For decades, Israel and Hezbollah have been locked in a struggle for power and influence. Both sides possess significant military capabilities. The border between Israel and Lebanon remains tense, with occasional skirmishes and exchanges of fire. The international community has long sought a lasting solution, but peace remains elusive. The current situation is particularly concerning due to the potential for miscalculation. With tensions already high, even a small incident could spark a larger conflict. The involvement of regional and global powers further complicates matters. All sides must exercise restraint and work towards de-escalation. The recent violence has brought the region to a critical juncture. The international community is watching closely, hoping to prevent a wider war. The path forward requires diplomacy, dialogue, and a commitment to peace from all parties involved. The stakes are too high for anything less. The latest round of violence began with an airstrike by Israel on targets in Beirut, Lebanon. Israel claimed the airstrike was in response to rocket fire from Hezbollah. The rocket attack, which targeted Israeli military positions, caused no casualties. However, the exchange of fire marked a significant escalation in tensions. The Israeli airstrike targeted areas believed to be associated with Hezbollah. While there were no reports of casualties, the strike caused material damage. The incident sparked outrage in Lebanon, with many condemning the Israeli action. Hezbollah vowed to respond, further raising fears of a wider conflict. Following the airstrike, Hezbollah launched a barrage of rockets into northern Israel. The rockets targeted Israeli military positions, but some landed in civilian areas. Israel responded with artillery fire, targeting areas from which rockets had been launched. The exchange of fire lasted for several hours, causing widespread fear and uncertainty. The recent violence highlights the precarious nature of the situation. Both Israel and Hezbollah possess the capability to inflict significant damage. The risk of miscalculation or unintended escalation is very real. The international community must work urgently to de-escalate the situation and prevent further bloodshed. President Biden has been closely monitoring the situation in the Middle East. He has expressed deep concern over the escalating violence between Israel and Hezbollah. The U.S. has called on all sides to exercise restraint and avoid actions that could further inflame tensions. The Biden administration has been engaged in diplomatic efforts to de-escalate the situation. The U.S. has been in contact with Israeli and Lebanese officials, as well as with regional partners. The goal is to prevent the current situation from spiraling into a wider conflict. President Biden has reaffirmed the United States' unwavering commitment to Israel's security. However, he has also stressed the importance of avoiding civilian casualties. The U.S. has urged Israel to exercise proportionality in its responses to provocations. The U.S. has also called on Hezbollah to cease its attacks on Israel. The Biden administration has condemned Hezbollah's rocket fire, calling it a reckless and provocative act. The U.S. has made it clear that it stands with Israel in the face of these threats. The recent violence between Israel and Hezbollah has sent shockwaves throughout the region. The Middle East is already grappling with numerous conflicts and crises. The potential for the current situation to escalate into a wider war is a grave concern. The conflict between Israel and Hezbollah is part of a larger regional struggle for power and influence. Iran, which backs Hezbollah, sees Israel as a threat. The involvement of regional powers adds another layer of complexity to the situation. The conflict also has the potential to spill over into neighboring countries. Lebanon, already facing a severe economic crisis, could be further destabilized by a wider war. Syria, which shares a border with both Israel and Lebanon, could also be drawn into the conflict. The international community is watching the situation closely. The stakes are high, not just for the Middle East, but for the world. A wider war in the region would have devastating consequences and could destabilize the entire global order.